What if I told you that you've got the power to physically change your brain for the better? And I'm not talking about some futuristic gadget. I'm talking about just moving your body. Today, we're diving into the incredible science of how something as simple as a walk can literally rewire your brain, make you more resilient, and build a powerful defense against stress. So, how fast do you think this all happens? Are we talking years, months? Well, the amazing truth is, a single workout can start changing your brain chemistry in a matter of minutes. And that immediate effect, that's the foundation for everything we're about to uncover. Okay, first things first, how on earth does exercise actually rewire your brain? Well, it all comes down to this incredible process called neurogenesis, which is just a fancy way of saying your brain can grow brand new cells. I know, it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? For the longest time, the scientific thinking was, hey, you're born with a certain number of brain cells and that's it. But we now know that's totally wrong. Our brains can grow new cells our entire lives. This process, neurogenesis, is like a hidden superpower, and exercise is one of the absolute best ways to turn it on. So if our brain is growing, where exactly is all this magic happening? Well, it turns out, exercise specifically targets two super important areas that are in a constant fight with stress and the aging process. Look at this. This is basically a tug of war going on inside your head. On one side, you have exercise, pulling your brain towards growth and strength. And on the other, you've got stress and aging, pulling it towards shrinking and decline. And I'm not just being poetic here. This is a real biological battle, and exercise is the best teammate you could ask for. Let's zoom in on the first key player, the hippocampus. Think of this as your brain's library for memories and learning. It's also one of the spots most vulnerable to stress, which can actually cause it to shrink. But, and this is the amazing part, exercise does the exact opposite. So just how powerful is this effect? Get this, research shows that consistent aerobic exercise can actually grow your hippocampus by 2% in a single year. Now I know 2% might not sound like a lot, but in the world of neuroscience, that is a massive, game-changing upgrade. And here's what that actually means for you. That 2% growth isn't just some abstract number. It's been shown to effectively turn back the clock on your brain's age by 1 to 2 years. You're not just slowing down the aging process, you are actively reversing it. Now, let's talk about the other key region, the prefrontal cortex. The best way to think about this area is to picture it as your brain's CEO. It's the boss, in charge of all the big picture stuff, planning, decision-making, focus, and keeping your emotions from going off the rails. So when you use exercise to strengthen this CEO, the results are pretty profound. Suddenly, you find it easier to manage stress. You can focus more easily. You're less impulsive and can regulate your emotions better. Basically, you're upgrading your brain's command center, which leads to clearer, calmer, and much more effective thinking. Okay, so we know what happens and where it happens. But the big question is how? How does a simple run or walk trigger all these incredible changes? Well, it all comes down to a kind of secret chemical formula that exercise unleashes in your brain. I want you to meet the star of the show, a protein called BDNF. The easiest way to think about this stuff is like pure fertilizer for your brain. Seriously, when you exercise, your brain gets a big dose of BDNF, and it helps your brain cells grow strong, healthy, and build all new connections with each other. It's a beautifully simple chain reaction, really. You move your body. That tells your brain to release this incredible protein. That protein then creates the perfect environment for your neurons to thrive and connect. And the end result? Your overall brain health gets a major boost. And it doesn't even stop there. Exercise also kicks off something called angiogenesis, which is the growth of brand new blood vessels. You gotta remember, your brain is an energy hog. It uses about 20% of your body's oxygen. So by building these new vascular superhighways, you're giving your brain a much better fuel supply. And that means clearer thinking and a lot more mental energy for you. All right, this science is incredible, but let's get practical. What's the timeline here? How long before you actually start to feel these changes? Well, you might be surprised. The payoff starts almost immediately. So check out this timeline. Within hours of a single workout, blood flow to your brain ramps up, and you get that awesome spike in BDNF. Keep it up for a few weeks, and your brain is already busy building new neurons and blood vessels. And then, after a few months, you can actually see these changes on an MRI scan. We're talking real, measurable growth in your brain. How cool is that? Okay, now for the most important part of all. How do we actually put this amazing science to work for us? Let's build a simple, totally actionable blueprint to start reaping these benefits, like today. And here is the best news you're going to hear all day. You do not need to train like an Olympic athlete for this. The research all points to a really achievable formula. Just 30 to 45 minutes of moderate exercise, like a brisk walk, only 3 to 5 times a week. That's it. That's the sweet spot for getting these incredible mental health benefits. And if you remember only one thing from all this, let it be this right here. For your brain, consistency is so much more important than intensity. It's not about that one heroic all-out workout you do once a month. It's about the steady, regular habit that allows all these incredible changes to really take root and last. You know, a great way to frame this is to think of it like compound interest for your brain. Every walk, every workout, every time you take the stairs, it's like making a small deposit. And over time, those small deposits build on each other, and the return you get in brain health and resilience is absolutely huge. So, every single movement is a direct, tangible investment in the future of your brain. The science is crystal clear. The blueprint is simple. The only real question left is, what's your next investment going to be?